Okay. All right, now the time is now 12:02, so I'm going to call the meeting for May to order. I'm Norma Hutcheson, the BEGA chairperson, and this meeting is being held virtually via WebEx. Joining me for the meeting today so far are board members Felice Smith, Darrin Sobin, and Melissa Tucker. Together, we constitute a quorum for this meeting. So since the agenda was first posted, it has not been changed in any way, but I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda after you've had a chance to review it.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt the agenda for today's meeting. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Hearing none, the board has adopted the agenda for today's meeting. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes from April 6, 2023. Draft meeting minutes have been provided to you, and I asked if you review those, and then I'll need a motion from a member to adopt the agenda, minutes from the April 6, 2023 meeting.
Make that motion.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the April 6, 2023 meeting. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Hearing no nays, the minutes from April are approved. The next item on the agenda is a report from the Office of Open Government. Director Niquelle Allen will provide the report on behalf of the office, and she is appearing virtually via WebEx. Director Allen, please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairperson Hutcheson and members of the board. I am Niquelle Allen, Director of Open Government, and I am pleased to present this report on the activities of the Office of Open Government. Since the last board meeting, the Office of Open Government has continued to fulfill its mission of ensuring that all persons receive full and complete information regarding the activities and affairs of the District of Columbia government and the actions of those who represent them. I'll begin with Open Meetings Act advice and Freedom of Information Act advice rendered by the office. First is advisory opinions and formal legal advice. First is the applicability of DC FOIA to the Washington Humane Society doing business as the Humane Rescue Alliance. On April 19th, 2023, I issued advisory opinion number OOG-2023-001AO. In this advisory opinion, I found that HRA is not a district government public body or agency subject to DC FOIA, even when HRA is a private contractor performing a public function. And two, the internal records held by HRA are not subject to direct request under DC FOIA. And three, the records HRA produces or collects pursuant to its contract with the district under its Animal Control Division are subject to DC FOIA, but the public body with programmatic responsibility for HRA's contract, DC Health, is responsible for making such records available. And four, a person may be able to retain HRA's records through a subpoena. A copy of the advisory opinion is in Dropbox for review. The Rental Housing Commission, District of Columbia Freedom of Information Act Compliance Advisory Opinion was issued on March 27, 2023, and that was OOG 2022-011-M. RHC is not fully compliant with the mandatory disclosure provisions of DC FOIA and must make all final orders created on or after November 1st, 2001 that are not subject to statutory exemptions publicly available on its website to be compliant with DC FOIA. The agency admits that it's not fully in compliant with the DC FOIA requirement to make its final orders available on the internet. The next item is informal OMA and FOIA advice. Since the last board meeting, OOG has responded informally via email or telephone to requests for assistance as follows. We responded to 5 requests for OMA advice, 4 requests for FOIA advice, and 7 requests for technical assistance with open-dc.gov. The next item is remote meeting monitoring. OOG attorneys attend remote public meetings to ensure compliance with the OMA and to inspect public body websites and OOG central meeting calendar for public meeting notices and records. We provide legal advice on the Open Meetings Act compliance and take corrective action if necessary. During April 2023, OOG's legal staff attended 12 remote public body meetings. As a result of the monitoring, several instances of written corrective measures were taken as follows. 1, to correct the failure to post a meeting agenda. 2, to correct the omission of the OMA regulatory statement on the meeting agenda. And 3, to correct the failure to post notice of a meeting cancellation. The OMA requires 1, meeting notices to include the date, time, location, and planned agenda to be covered at the meeting, and that's DC Official Code Section 2-5765. 2, the inclusion of the following regulatory statement on all meeting agendas. This meeting is covered by the Open Meetings Act. Please address any questions or complaints arising under this meeting to the Office of Open Government at opengovoffice@dc.gov, which is found in 3 DCMR Section 10409.2, and 3, notice to the public of a meeting cancellation, which is a change in schedule, which is DC Official Code Section 2-5761. Training and outreach. OOG attended the following courses. 1 is a virtual CLE sponsored by the Office of the Office of the Attorney General, Guns, District of Columbia, and the Second Amendment. On April 10th, 2023, I, along with Attorneys Scarborough and Weil, attended a virtual CLE course facilitated by Senior Assistant Attorney General Andrew Sandin regarding the district's regulation of firearms and the evolution of gun laws in the district. The Supreme Court's decision last summer in Bruin upended the consensus method that most courts have been using to analyze challenges brought under the Second Amendment and required a complete revision of how these cases must be litigated. Andy Sandin provided an overview of the issues facing government, local and federal, as they try to regulate guns in the face of a rapidly changing legal background. The next is Skill Path virtual training. On April 14th, 2023, myself, Chief Counsel Barton, and Attorney Scarborough, attended the virtual course, Train the Trainer, How to Create and Facilitate Employee Training by Skill Path. The subjects covered during the 3-hour interactive training was creating training that works, deliver dynamic training, and be an effective virtual trainer. DC Bar training on April 27, 2023. Attorney Scarborough attended the DC Bar's Crafting a User-Focused Legal Website, a comprehensive guide to 6 essential user experience UX elements virtual training. The training's focus was using tools for creating a website that looks professional and engaging. The next is BEGA's Learning Management courses. On April 27, 2023, I completed several of the Office of Government Ethics online training courses to satisfy the annual training requirement, including the Board of Ethics and Government Accountability's ethics training, negotiating employment and post-employment, and what is ethical leadership. Next is the Practicing Law Institute or PLI training. On April 28th, 2023, trial attorney Weil attended PLI's Pre-Trial Practice 2023 training, and the topics included planning the litigation, investigating facts and law, pleading their case, and conducting pretrial motions, and mastering settlement strategies. Next course is conducted by OOG. We only had 1 course, which is DC FOIA training. On May 2nd, Chief Counsel Barton presenting a training to the Executive Office of the Mayor covering the requirements and best practices for DC FOIA. Other outreach activities, DC Open Government Coalition meeting on April 21st, 2023. I met with the DC Open Government Coalition to discuss their proposed legislation to create a commission to reform open government laws to better align with technology and deal with longstanding issues related to FOIA and open meetings. We discussed strategy for obtaining community and DC Council report support for the reforms. OOG newsletter. On April 27th, 2023, we distributed issue 2 of the Open Govist, our quarterly newsletter. Among other things, the newsletter provides 1, legislative updates to the OMA and DC FOIA, and 2, summaries to OMA and DC FOIA advisory opinions. 3, summaries of the MOLC FOIA appeals decisions that have precedential impact. 4, summaries of OMA and DC FOIA advice. 4, upcoming OOG trainings. I think we omitted 5, and highlights our public body sunshine moment and provides information about the duties and responsibilities of the Board of Architecture, Interiors Design, and Landscape Architecture. A copy of our newsletter is found in the Dropbox for your review, and it's also viewable on our Twitter account, DC OpenGov. The Office of Cable Television Film, Music, and Entertainment program launches next. On April 28, 2023, I attended OCT FME's 2023 upfront presentation of its spring and summer TV programming at OCT FME Studios. The launch included a sneak peek of DC TV's programming for this summer. The next is the litigation and legislative update. New appellate decisions from the Mayor's Office of Legal Counsel, which we're always happy to see. On April 7th, 2023, April 14th, 2023, and April 21st, 2023, the Mayor's Office of Legal Counsel published 72 FOIA appeals decisions in the DC Register. A summary of all the opinions appear in the printed report in Dropbox. I will not take the time to read them aloud because the majority are either dismissals as moot because the agency fulfilled the request during the pendency of the appeal, or straightforward directives for the agency to finish the processing of an unfulfilled request. Here is a summary of 7 decisions that have broader precedential impact. Appeal number 2019-166. The MOLC affirmed that narrowing the origins of 9/11 calls to locations more granular than police districts would breach the personal privacy sufficiently to trigger Exemption 2 privacy interest. Appeal number 2019-168. The MOLC remanded because the agency's need to reformat a database is not equivalent to the agency to create a new record. Appeal number 2019-179, the MOLC remanded for reprocessing, holding that there is a public interest with the resume and application submitted by a successful candidate for a government position that outweighs the privacy interest. Appeal number 2019-188, the MOLC remanded, holding that MPD may proceed and should have proceeded with processing the request by verifying ID to confirm that the requester was the person seeking his own records, thus negating the privacy interest under which the records were withheld. Appeal number 2019-206, the MOLC affirmed DC Health Search as adequate. To conduct an adequate search, an agency must 1, make a reasonable determination as to the location of records requested, and 2, search for the records in those locations. The first steps include determining the likely electronic databases where such records are to be located, such as the email accounts and word processing files, and the relevant paper-based files that the agency maintains. Second, the agency must affirm that the relevant locations were in fact searched. Generalized and conclusory allegations cannot suffice to establish an adequate search. Appeal number 2019-236, the MOLC affirmed the agency's application of Exemption 2 because the public interest was not adequate to overcome the privacy interest with respect to the victim's statement in a criminal case. Appeal number 2019-238, the MOLC affirmed the agency's application of Exemption 2 because adequate public interest did not warrant disclosure of third-party Uber receipts from an evidence file. The next item is litigation. There are no litigation updates on the cases that were reported to you in the April 2023 board report. OOG continues to monitor all relevant litigation and the status of court cases previously reported to the board. The last item in my report are administrative matters. The first is the BEGA 1030 15th Street Northwest relocation. The weekly meetings continue this month regarding BEGA's relocation to its new office. I, along with Director Cooks, Chief of Staff Mitchell, and administrative staff members, met weekly with the Department of General Services and the Office of the Chief Technology Officer to discuss the progress of the agency's relocation to its new facility at 1030 15th Street Northwest. During the April monthly meetings, we discussed the audio-visual needs of the new location, and we also discussed our need for data and telephones at the new facility. The next item is the Information Technology Specialist position. On March 17, 2023, BEGA posted an open full-time CS12 position for the IT specialist, which closed on April 16, 2023. We are projected to have that position filled by the end of June 2023. Website redesign is the last item. As previously reported, BEGA is redesigning its website, bega.dc.gov. I, along with Director Cook, Senior Attorney Tran, and Chief of Staff Mitchell, have been working on the project. Senior Attorney Tran is leading the implementation of the project since the departure of our IT specialist, and we are nearing the end of the redesign project, and the launch should be coming soon. You will hear from Director Cooks on the matter, and the website is starting to look great. So this concludes the Office of Open Government's May 4th, 2023 report. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have at this time.
Thank you, Director Allen.
Okay.
Are there any questions for Director Allen?
Madam Chair, questions. Just want to register that I am in attendance. I was logged on about 5 minutes late. Thank you.
Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, we thank you for a very thorough report, Director Allen. Director Cooks is up next for the Office of Government Ethics.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Hutcheson and members of the board. I'm Ashley Cooks, the Director of Government Ethics. I am pleased to present this report on the activities of the Office of Government Ethics, OGE. First is an update on the status of OGE operations. The information reported today regarding OGE's cases will not reflect any status changes that may occur because of actions taken by the board during today's meeting. First are open investigations by status. We have 52 matters. For open undocketed matters, we have 1. Pending state investigations by status, we have 26 matters that are closed pending collection. 3 matters stayed pending DC Superior Court case. 3 matters stayed for OAG False Claims Act case. 4 matters stayed for OIG investigation, for a grand total of 36 matters. Regulatory matters by status, we have 26 matters that are closed pending collection, 9 matters that are open, for a grand total of 35 matters. Again, we currently have 52 open investigations and 10 matters that are stayed. The number of open preliminary and formal investigations includes 10 new matters. The investigative team has resolved 11 investigations since the board last met. This total does not reflect the number of complaints that were dismissed for a lack of jurisdiction. Next is an update on trainings and outreach. First, professional development trainings attended by staff. During the month of April, OGE staff members, except the administrative staff, attended GUNS, the District of Columbia and the Second Amendment, presented by the Office of the Attorney General. Senior Assistant Attorney General Andrew Sandin gave an overview of the issues facing local and federal governments as they try to regulate guns in the face of a rapidly changing legal background. Investigator Corrales and Attorney Advisor Echols both completed Get Started with Microsoft Excel and Get Started with Microsoft Excel Advanced. Investigator Corrales took Learning the Benefits of Rapport Building in Investigations. Attorney Advisors Echols and Van both completed How to Structure a Winning Argument. Attorney Advisor Van also took Presentation Skills for a Virtual Audience. Investigator Ralph Bradley attended LexisNexis Terms and Connectors Lunch and Learn course. Senior Attorney Tran took Stock Trading Everywhere, All at Once, Public Service and Financial Conflicts. Last week, Attorney Advisor Van, Supervisory Attorney Asia Stewart Mitchell, General Counsel Rashi Raj, and Senior Attorney Tran attended an online skill pack course entitled Train the Trainer, How to Create and Facilitate Employee Training. Next is an update on the trainings conducted by staff. Since the April board meeting, OGE conducted 5 training courses. The April monthly ethics training, which was attended by 303 employees, ethics training for the managers of the Office of Unified Communications, 23 attendees, the quarterly boards and commission training, 59 attendees, ethics training for the Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection, 34 attendees, and the April brown bag session. Last Monday, Attorney Advisor Echols presented the April Ethics Counselor Brown Bag session on seeking and negotiating employment. Several ethics counselors attended and appreciated the discussion, as they find this to be a complex area of ethics. A copy of the presentation was placed in the Dropbox for your review. During the month of April, 254 employees completed our online ethics training via PeopleSoft. Since the launch of the Learning Management System in April 2022, 5,125 employees have registered within the system, which is an increase of 747 employees since the last board meeting until April 30th. Course BGA 923, Board of Ethics and Government Accountability Ethics Training, leads all courses with 725 course completions. This is due in large part to the outreach done by the training team, encouraging agencies to use the LMS, especially to satisfy the annual requirement for financial disclosure statement filers. We continue to meet with our LRN program manager to discuss ways to optimize the system and increase employee registration. Next is an update on outreach. As Director Allen already discussed, OGE and OOG are finalizing the changes to the new BEGA website. The website team consists of myself, Director Allen, Chief of Staff Mitchell, and Senior Attorney Tran. We're in the final stages of reviewing the changes to the website. The website launch could occur this week, and a preview is available to the board members at the link I provided in the Dropbox. Next is an update on BEGA newsletter. On Friday, April 14th, OGE published Volume 8, Issue 2 of its newsletter, Ethically Speaking. The newsletter provides reminders of the financial disclosure statement filing deadline, informs readers of the ethics issues within the 3 branches of the federal government, identifies regarding enforcement actions taken by other state ethics boards, and provides advice on attending a widely attended gathering. This issue is available on the BEGA website, and the next issue will be published by June 15th. A copy was placed in the Dropbox for your reading pleasure. Next is an update on advisory opinions and advice. First, informal advice. OGE's legal staff provided advice for approximately 30 ethics inquiries, which is 15 less than the 45 reported at the last board meeting. This number does not include responses we have provided to questions regarding the lobbyist and FDSE filing systems. Formal advisory opinions. OGE's advisory opinion guidance on the financial disclosure statement filing process is in the final days of its comment period, ending on March 15th. The opinion addresses the history and purpose of financial disclosure filings, who's required to file, including the designation process, how to file a financial disclosure statement, and the importance of reviewing financial disclosure statements to determine any apparent or potential conflicts of interest. Given that the 2023 filing season has begun, this opinion will answer some frequently asked questions and concerns. A copy was placed in the Dropbox for your review. Yesterday, OGE published advisory opinion guidance on recusal. The opinion provides advice on when a recusal is warranted and how employees should properly recuse themselves to avoid violating the ethics rules. The opinion details the definition of a recusal and provides information on when a written statement of recusal is expressly required by the Code of Conduct and when a recusal is necessary to avoid even the appearance of an ethics violation. The opinion also addresses what should be included in a written statement and the process after an employee discloses a conflict. The opinion has been published on the BEGA website and will be submitted to the DC Register for a 30-day comment period. A copy was placed in the Dropbox for your review. Next is an update on legislative matters. We only have one update, the 2022-2023 budget oversight. On March 30th, 2023, Chairperson Hutcheson, Director Allen, and I provided testimony and information on the agency's budgetary needs before the Committee on Executive Administration and Labor. We're still awaiting updates regarding fiscal year 2024 enhancement requests that were submitted to the committee. Next is an update on OGE administrative matters, OGE staffing. OGE has posted vacancy announcements for its attorney advisor, investigator, and auditor positions. We are advertising widely via careers.dc and our networks in hopes of obtaining a great candidate to interview soon. The IT specialist recently closed, and we expect to start interviewing candidates soon. For office relocation, our relocation is still underway. OGE and OOG continue our weekly meetings with the Department of General Services and the project management team to discuss the build out of the space, furniture, and finishes. An update on IT production provided by Octo will not delay our move date, and the proposed move date still remains July 2023. Next is an update on financial disclosure statement, FDS. Pursuant to DC Official Code Sections 1-1161.24 and 1-1161.25, public officials and certain government employees must file a financial disclosure statement as a means of transparency and to prevent engaging in conduct that violates the Financial Conflict of Interest statute. BEGA is responsible for ensuring that employees and public officials who meet the statutory requirements file their annual financial disclosure statement. FDS season is in full swing. The FDS team has collected filer lists from agencies. The lists equal 8,449 total filers, which is 13% more than the 2022 filing season. On April 14th, the FDS team sent emails to 4,186 public filers and 4,263 confidential filers announcing the financial disclosure filing deadline of May 15, 2023. A second notice was sent on April 28th. As of April 30th, the FDS team has recorded 2,799 filers. Both public and confidential filers continue to submit their disclosure statements using our online filing system. Last is an update on lobbying registration and reporting, LRR. Pursuant to DC Official Code Section 1-1162.27a, a person who receives compensation or expense funds in an amount of $250 or more in any 3 consecutive calendar month period for lobbying shall register with the Director of Government Ethics and pay the required registration fee. According to DC Official Code Section 1-1162.30, each registrant shall file a quarterly report concerning the registrant's lobbying activities during the previous quarter. The 2023 Q1 activity reports were due on April 18, 2023. On March 29th, the LRR team contacted 530 registrants and clients to inform them of the deadline. In response to the reminder notice, the LRR team recorded 15 new registrations, 12 renewals, 8 terminations, and 421 activity reports. The LRR team sent 9 letters to registrants who have failed to timely file their activity reports. Thank you. This concludes the report of the Office of Government Ethics for May 4th, 2023. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Thank you, Director Cooks. Are there any questions for Director Cooks? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the next item on our agenda, and that was public comments. The public was invited to submit comments in writing by 11 a.m. today, and we have no comments received by that time. Next on the agenda is executive or closed session. This item is to direct ongoing confidential investigations pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2-575B14. to consult with an attorney to obtain legal advice and to preserve the attorney-client privilege between an attorney and a public body pursuant to DC Official Code, Section 2-575B4A, to discuss personnel matters, including the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, performance evaluation, compensation, discipline, demotion, removal, or resignation of government appointees, employees, or officials pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2-57B10, to deliberate on a decision in which the Ethics Board will exercise quasi-judicial functions pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2-575B13, and to discuss contract negotiation strategies pursuant to DC Official Code Section 2-575B2. May I have a motion to enter executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Great, the time is now 12:33, and I ask that we log out of this session and log into the executive session. The time is now 12:53, and there's one matter from the executive session that we are reporting out on, and that's the negotiated disposition was approved in the matter 23-0007-P in Ray K. Barnes. With that, I will adjourn the meeting for the District of Columbia Board of Ethics and Government Accountability for May. The next meeting will be held remotely via WebEx on June 8th, 2023 at 12 noon. And that's it. I encourage you all to enjoy your Memorial Day holiday. Have a safe holiday, and we'll see you in June.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
Happy
you.
Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.